And all you need to ask, and are you okay is okay, but there's got to be follow-up for that. So a handful of times, and I'll speak more generally rather than talking about specific tradies that I've spoken with, I'll say or ask, mate, are you all right? Because you just don't seem yourself. I want to talk about something that is what I believe a systemic and epidemic issue in tradie business, in our industry overall, and that is tradie mental health. And this is a very near to my heart topic, not only from my own personal experiences of mental health in more recent times, but because we have lost one of our past clients a few years ago to suicide, and that was something that shook me quite considerably. And I was already an advocate for looking after your mental health, but it's really driven me to push that bit harder on it. So the bad elements of mental health that come with being a trades business owner include, higher levels of stress than the general population, higher levels of responsibility for family and for other people's families. So there's a lot of pressure that we take on the responsibility for. We have a considerable amount of blokes and women with huge, huge hearts, which means that they give and give and give and give and aren't open to receiving as much time for themselves and money for themselves. They really just give everything, sometimes for nothing. And also we have got a stigma attached to mental health in the trades industry, which is moving in the right direction, but there is still a bit of a stigma that tradies are these big, tough, indestructible dudes who aren't allowed to show emotion or can't cry or have to be these pillars and towers of strength. And I do believe that as a society, we are doing ourselves, the industry, a great injustice, because that just isn't the case. Like, my experience of tradies has always been that they are the most beautiful, loving, kind, dedicated, hardworking people, and they need support too. And so do you ladies who are working tradie business too, because business ownership overall is really challenging on mental health. When we have turned to face our challenges with mental health, though, the good things that come from that, you do live a more free life. You are happier, you are healthier overall. There's less alcohol drunk. There's more engaged, connected, community type vibe around you. And these are all the things that come with having good, healthy mental health. A bit of a general story about what I've seen in mental health in our world. So I've got the privilege that I've been able to spot anxiety and depression in people around me for a very long time. I was a nurse, and that helped me and has helped me to be able to have some hard conversations with people if I can see that they are struggling and that they are not okay. And I've asked that question that I've put this post to be around, are you okay? Because I'm not seeing you and your old self lately. You seem to be just not yourself. What's going on, mate? And that's how you can ask that question to the people around you. You can ask them if you've seen behaviour change. Perhaps they're withdrawing. Perhaps you don't see them smile as much as they used to. Perhaps they're not getting out and about, or they're not exercising, or they've put on weight, or that type of thing. These are all indicators. Or they might say, yeah, I'm not sleeping very well, or I'm stressed about money. These are all indicators that people are not okay. And all you need to ask, and are you okay is okay, but there's got to be follow-up for that. So a handful of times, and I'll speak more generally rather than talking about specific tradies that I've spoken with, I'll say or ask, mate, are you all right? Because you just don't seem yourself. And then you just got to pause and let them talk. And what comes through, often the response will be, yeah, no, I'm right. And the temptation then is to not ask anything more because they've told you that it's all right. But if you feel inside of you that it's not all right and you need to go further, then please push yourself outside of your own comfort zone to do that. So when they go, yeah, no, I'm right, mate. No, everything's fine. You go, are you sure? I'm just not convinced that everything's all right. And you might get a second time. No, I'm no worries. No, all good. The third time is usually when you'll actually get them to come forth and actually tell the truth. So you need to often ask 3 times, not just 1, not just 2, but 3 times. Mate, something's just telling me that you're not all right. Are you sure there's not something that you want to talk about? And what comes through often is I'm stressed about money, or I'm not sleeping well at night, or I'm worried about our staff, or I'm worried about my family, or my relationship's not doing too well. Or in the really, really challenging conversations that I've had the privilege of having, blokes have actually said to me, I'm thinking about taking my own life. And that is a moment in time of great privilege, and where we want to be so thankful to that person for opening up to us. And that's what you want to do when someone tells you that they're not doing okay, however that sounds from them. You want to say to them, thank you, mate, for trusting me to tell me that. Is there anything else? And that is the difference between them coming to you and being more open, or them shutting down. Because the temptation, because it's uncomfortable, is for us to go, oh, but you'll be all right, mate, things will turn around. And you want to do the niceties because your own discomfort in those conversations can take over. But you just have to say thank you, because you actually can't fix it. None of us have the power to we can support and encourage and show kindness and compassion, but we actually can't fix what's going on for that person. They have to be ready to go and do some stuff for themselves. So you just have to say thank you. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for trusting me with that information. I really appreciate you sharing that with me. What can we do to get you some support? So that's the third time. It usually takes 3 times. So what I guess I'm trying to teach you here is, don't let them get away with the first, yeah, no, I'm right. Don't let them get away with the second, no, I'm right. Really push your own self through to ask the third time, nah, mate, I just don't feel good about where you're at the moment, or I notice that you're not as happy as you used to be, or I notice I'm not seeing the things about you that I got to know and love, and things have changed. What do you think's going on for you? So it's just about digging that little bit deeper. And the benefits of doing that is that it helps us have better conversations. It helps us lift the awareness. It helps us as a society to get around each other in our industry and truly support one another for the betterment of our industry, because the statistics around tradie mental health and suicide are alarming. And that's where I'm so grateful that we have the support of organisations like TIACS, this is a conversation starter. And that service is available for tradies and blue collar workers, people who are challenged by, it could be a diagnosed or undiagnosed mental health issue, but you are going to be connected up with a counsellor who is going to be able to support you through whatever you're going through. I know how hard it is to pick up the phone and ask for help. It has taken me about 12 to 18 months to actually action getting the help that I've needed for my own mental health challenges. I've done bit by bit, but the last pieces of my puzzle have really only fallen into place in the last week or so. And so this takes time. And what's benefited somebody like me is that I've had multiple people just gently checking in. And that could be you. You could be the difference in a person's world, even though it might take a period of time for them to put all the pieces to their puzzle in place. But if you're just there, constantly asking, constantly nurturing, supporting, how's it all going, and not trying to solve the problem, just being there, that will make all of the difference. So the call to action today is not to call us. It's not to, give us your information. it's to send a text to TIACS if this has hit any spots in your heart, in your mind. If there's somebody around you that you know and love that might need some support, reach out to TIACS. It's a text message service, so you don't have to make that hard first phone call. You've just got to send them a text message. So please do that for yourself. It will change your life, and it's just one step towards us as an industry overall improving our mental health outcomes, which I'm super passionate about. Of course, business is challenging, and that wears on mental health as well. And what we find at Ladies with Tradies is if you get your business sorted out, often your mental health gets sorted out too.